Appreciate y'all for tuning in to Show and Love, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Heard DJ Moore today on a couple of different shows down on Radio Row over on out by the Super Bowl. Love that they're out at Radio Row and just supporting his QB. Says basically that he's all in on Justin. He's a Justin Fields advocate. Believes that he saw a ton of growth from Justin post injury, and that that he can only continue to get better if you continue developing with him. Also said, whatever direction. This is the part that a lot of people are leaving out when they're breaking this down. Whatever direction the organization chooses to go, he's going to go with the organization in that direction. But he would prefer that Justin Fields is the quarterback of the Chicago Bears moving forward. I guess here's my question: does this move a team, a front office, anything in any way? Because this is not, and I've said this. This is not
normal.
It's not normal, y'all.
It's not normal.
What we're seeing around the league, find me a player not named Shady McCoy. Because Shady come out aggressive. And I get it, right? Shady come out aggressive, though. And right, like, all right. So find me a player not named Shady McCoy.
Former player? That
thinks, just a player in general. I don't think we've seen a ton of former players. Usually what we hear from former players is the business side of it. I don't think that you can continue to build with him if you don't have with the time you have left. You know what I mean? With the time frame. Nobody believes this dude sucks.
Nobody. Everyone says that he's going to be successful.
And I give you this. Here's the thing. I give you the stats would tell you probably not good. His passing yards per attempt went down this season while getting a better receiver.
Yeah.
And every single player believes this dude can play.
Yeah.
I continue to ask this. What are we missing?
Time.
What are we not seeing? But time is something where, here's the thing. Time is something where if Ryan Poles believes that, you could pay for time. Right? If you feel that Justin Fields is on the precipice of break, because everybody cares about the money until it works. Everybody cared about Kobe White getting re-signed here until he started putting up 26 points a game and was like, wait a minute, we got a steal. Exactly.
No, hold on. But he's had signed for $33 million over 3.
Yeah, but we all, but
he got scrub money.
But Justin Fields will be. I'm not saying you guarantee long term. I'm saying if you just pick up his 5th-year option, what are we missing here? That every single player's, and DJ Moore being in, I get it, but this is weird at this point.
I'm gonna be honest. To me, it's not just time. It's just the simple fact that we have the number 1 overall. That's just it. If we just had the number 9, we're not talking about a QB. I don't believe we are. And I wouldn't be in that conversation. I'd be get Rome on Dunze. Get MHJ is gonna be gone before
Neighbors.
Neighbors, maybe, yeah. But because you have the number 1 overall, and it's such a good QB class, and the money is in and all that.
Hey, bro.
Because of all of that.
All right.
What y'all just saw there was us never hearing a storm outside before. Hey, yo, that thunder was rocking, bro. Wait a minute. Are we safe?
I don't know. That's rain?
Oh, yo, it is rain.
I was wondering what was happening. I'm like, is that somebody moving a trash?
It's either rain
or
somebody
grilling
right steaks.
Rain,
stinks. But no, that's it. I don't think anything else. And honestly, that year with Nagy, I think that year with Nagy really did him in.
Yeah, that was a bad start. He wasn't supposed to start.
Yeah, that's
he wasn't supposed to play.
But the fact that Nagy didn't put anything to
stuff
like
that, we weren't ready. We weren't ready for him. We weren't ready to develop this QB. We are in a better position now than we ever have been. And I get why you would want to keep him for that. But now there's going to be a larger dollar amount tied to that. You can't risk 26 and then whatever that is afterwards. And then you can't risk passing up on resetting your future potentially because of that. It's just a victim. He's a victim of circumstance. I truly believe
that is the
he's a victim of circumstance. It's not because I don't like him. I really think he's going to go out and be good, and I want him to be good.
Yeah,
I really do.
I think I'm with Kid, right? Because when I look at this, I mean, it's like Pat said, if every single player is saying this, it's like we got to be missing something. And the thing that I keep going back to is the fact that he has all the intangibles to be great, and every single opponent that the Bears play see that, okay, this dude's out here making Lamar Jackson plays, and it's like to Kid's point, they also at the time the Bears were not ready to develop a quarterback like Justin Fields. But to the flip side of that, it's like Poles has pressure on him because how do you justify if you do take Justin missing up on another possible generational QB when you had a Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, or Trevor Lawrence out there? It's tough.
But honestly, but fellas, it's more. I'm sorry, but it's more about we might just have a great problem in the business. The economics of it just is playing itself out. This is possibly close to a Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees situation. You know, not necessarily based where Brees was hurt. And it was a little easier for them to make that move. We don't know what they're deciding to do out there in Hallis Hall, but we're kind of probably in that situation. Fields is probably a victim because we're seeing a form of he is ascending, growing as a quarterback. People don't necessarily have the patience for him. Some people don't. Yeah. But unfortunately, the business of football also says there's a big contract coming up too. And we know that people like him as a leader. They like him as an overall person. And he hasn't killed us, you know, especially in down the stretch. But I think it is a victim of we might. I'm sorry, I got the number 1 pick overall. Yeah, we got this guy that has some characteristics.
Twice.
Yeah, but twice. But they needed to build their team, right? And so.
Yeah, and to answer your question, Pat, it's 2 things that stand out to me as to why we possibly are not seeing what other players around the league and people who are evaluating Justin and can see everything from on the field to off the field is the team and talent. And sometimes, you know, because fans and because the league is about instant gratification and seeing these players come in as soon as they drop day one, like with Caleb. All this special talk about him being generational, he better perform as soon as he hits the field. Yeah, he doesn't have 3 years to. Yeah, you can't miss. So all of these people, including Justin, have had time to improve. Yet his circumstances hasn't allowed him because we don't have the team around him yet that's built around him. A la Brock Purdy in San Francisco or Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. They don't have the talent yet, and that's why this offseason is so important because you have all of these pieces and all of these picks that you could potentially make if you trade the pick or if you keep it to address the needs on this team.
No, I agree. I think it's good to know that his teammates are behind him in case he does come back, right? But it's also, I think the one thing that I do like that I heard from DJ Moore is that it's not like there's going to be a mass mutiny if you remove this guy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that's the part where, because I'm not going to lie, that was a concern of mine because of how much the locker room is behind him. And what we heard from, I'm blanking on the guest we had on the show, writer, insider, works for The Athletic.
Spielberger?
No.
J-Mac.
Brandon,
oh Jesus! I forgot.
Spielberg. I'm saying the name wrong. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Y'all maybe not. But basically, insider for The Athletic, around the NFL, stuff like that. I'm tweaking on the name right now. It's not that Justin Fields is a part of the culture. Justin Fields is the culture. Mm-hmm. You take Justin Fields away from that team, you're building a new culture. Yep. You take Justin Fields away from that team, you don't have the same Bears that you had. And maybe that's better. Right? The Bears we got lost. Bears we got are 7-10
and got smoked.
They're ascending. They're growing. You know, this team is building. You know, you're dealing with a coach that was making some mistakes. You're dealing with an offensive coordinator making some mistakes. He's still developing. I mean, he has improved as a passer, you know, moderately, not tremendously, but he's definitely been going this way versus regressing as a quarterback and making a lot of
the one thing that I would like to see, and I don't think we're going to get an opportunity to see it, is what effect Shane Waldron would actually have on him, because Justin Fields does one thing very similar to what Russell Wilson did early on when he was working with Waldron. When Waldron ended up taking over, Russ just, because he's 6'1", he wouldn't attack the middle of the field. Yeah. He just wouldn't. He would not throw the football to the middle of the field. And it was a problem because you couldn't, attack downfield. You couldn't pick defenses apart because you weren't attacking that part of the field. That's an issue that Justin Fields legitimately has. there are times where there's nothing schemed to the middle of the field, but there are also times where there's just nothing. There are also times where there's something in the middle of the field and you got DJ Moore clapping. You got Chase Claypool clapping, trying to get your attention to throw the football there.
Yeah.
I would love to see if Shane Waldron could affect that, because that's a spot where I really believe if Justin Fields could get more confident in that, and I do think he got more confident post-injury, to DJ Moore's point, that would be a time where you would start to see him ascend as a quarterback. Because now it's just we can only protect the outsides. Now it's, we got to worry about the middle of the field. We also got to worry about him running. We got to worry about the outsides. Oh, snap, DJ Moore's behind us. Now we got to worry about a deep threat.
I had a conversation with Jay Crit this morning, and we were talking about
Shout out Crit.
Shout out Jay Crit.
Shout out, Crit.
Super fan.
Super fan.
So like the thing is, his issue like with Fields is that he doesn't do a good job of anticipating, where he doesn't give the receiver the chance to catch the ball. It's like he waits for him to get open too much. And it's like some things, and I felt like what we just talked about, that's what made me think of this. What we were just saying is that with Waldron coming in, if you do have possibly a creative enough mind of an offensive coordinator that can open the field a little bit more or design a scheme, do you have the talent or the ability to design something around whatever your quarterback is? Because it doesn't matter if it's Caleb or Justin or Drake May or Jaden Daniels, whoever. You have to tailor the system around the quarterback. And a lot of times these coordinators are more like, this is my system and this is how we run it. And this is how we're going to do it.
And you can't have it.
And you can't handle it. Yeah. So it's like,
what? I think actually to that point, I'll say it was an advantage that he went to Ohio State, but I think it's also disadvantages because he had such a great team where you have all these great receivers that are in the league now with Olave and Jigba. Who's the other one that's on New York Jets? That Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
It's like Justin Fields had a slew of great receivers and a core of receivers at Ohio State that knew how to get open. That team was creating space every single doggone play, every game. And so Justin didn't necessarily have to work on making sure his timing was right with the throws. I think that's something that has to continue to be learned if we stick with Justin. And I think he'll get better with the talent that comes on this team.
It is true.
That's the learning.
Well, he's our quarterback until he's our quarterback until they trade him.
I'm gonna go back to this one thing, and I think he did play tremendously after coming back from injury.
He had one bad game. The Cleveland game was bad, but also it's pouring rain. Why are we dropping back throwing it 40 times? I'm still confused on that.
That's my issue. Like again,
it was a bad game.
You can't blame him for that.
I can blame
especially if freaking
I can blame him because Joe Flacco put that bad boy there.
Hey, listen, I can blame him for sailing.
You had a kicker. You had a kicker that muffed the punt that gave Cleveland a short field. You had Tunyon drop at least a surefire 450-yard bomb, maybe not a touchdown. Like that's not his fault.
I also can blame Justin Fields for throwing it 15 yards over Darnell Mooney's head when he was wide open. I can also blame
that's
Justin
one.
Fields.
That's two.
I mean, there's
well, he threw for 50.
As well.
He threw like 60 attempts. What do you want him to do?
There's blame for Justin Fields as well. Like it's okay to blame
Justin Fields could do nothing
to be
wrong.
More accurate on the ones that count.
Calm down.
But here's the one thing I will say.
Down, Joe. Down.
He got better after seeing the things that Tyson Bagent could do. Because Tyson Bagent would throw down the middle of the field. He threw some picks.
He couldn't throw. No, he couldn't. He threw in the middle of the field. He threw in the middle of the field. He couldn't throw down the field.
But what I will say, no, he threw down the field.
Nah. He was hitting. He was hitting the tight end. He was hitting Komet.
He had some dots. He didn't have a lot of touchdowns.
The Raiders
he was going in the middle of the field. He was not throwing it down. He wasn't slinging it.
He didn't have a pass in the Raiders game over 10 yards.
Yes, he did. He had two. We want you.
No.
When it happened, you tapped me.
No. What it was because he was moving down the field.
Whoa.
Hey, yeah, that was crazy.
Whoa.
I'm not gonna lie.
He tapped me like
that was insane.
Hey. Nah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I'm gonna hold that one.
Where's the flag?
I think y'all. No, y'all.
I'm gonna hold that one.
That's two. I got to take it.
Anyway, but here's my thought process though. For real. He didn't have. That's crazy.
That was crazy.
I gotta move past this one. I'm gonna keep talking. Hey, listen, I can't fight it.
I need to take another timeout.
But no, seriously, he didn't have a good QB room either. He didn't have a good QB room either. Like there's no development. You don't have a good QB room. We don't have I don't think Getsy was a good coordinator. I don't know who his QB coach was.
Yeah, just because, by the way, just because Luke Getsy got a job don't mean that he was a good coordinator.
Doesn't mean that. It
Hey,
just
John
means-
Shoup got a
You know
job.
what that means?
I
It means that man's connected, has a network, and
I mean,
there you go.
Fields,
There you go.
Fields has improvement. We know that. And I think it's just, again, it is a victim of circumstance. I think you're 100% right, kid. If we did not have the number one pick, we would not be having this conversation about possibly moving on from Fields. But because you are in one of the most amazing situations ever, because you just did the ultimate, kingpin move by fleecing that team and then coming back and getting their number one pick. It's incredible. You took their receiver and their number one pick.
You can't do it.
That's
twice
nuts.
and be
Like,
wrong.
so, it is what it is. Either way, we're winning. I'm happy either way.
But can
I
we
mean,
thank Poles though? Poles actually gave him a
up,
fair shot.
up.
We've been thinking Ryan Poles the whole time.
Yeah.
Ryan Poles gave him a fair
Yeah.
shot. He traded back when everyone said he probably should have took Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, which Bryce Young is.
Well, you knew he was never going to take. It was always going to be Jalen Carter. Oh, in Poles we trust. Hey, look at him.
Y'all forgetting the Birdman hand rub.
Birdman hand rub. This should fit me like a dang glove.
Oh, wait. I didn't get that ring. Go ahead.
Birdman
glasses
hand
for
rub.
me, dog. Look at this.
Birdman
But no, it's and I think realistically, here's the bottom line, right? It's good to know that Justin Fields has the support of his teammates. It's good to know that Justin Fields has support in this locker room, and it's good to know that this locker room is willing to say, you know what, whatever direction we go, we're not going to stop fighting, because that was. I'll say this. And J-Mac has said this on the podcast, on the Chicago Bears podcast, so I don't mind bringing it here. And I talked with Greg Gabriel about it when he was the head of scouting, and he was in charge of basically, a big part of the drafting process for the Bears. One thing that really fractured the offense that we had was the front office pitted the locker room against Cedric Benson. They drafted Cedric Benson, what? Fourth overall? Yeah.
It was
Which
Cadillac
is insane.
Williams.
Running backs, flips the table. Sorry.
Son of a.
Yeah, son of a. You not lying.
No, that was Cadillac Williams.
But they draft. Oh no, there's a lot of good players in that draft.
Who else? No, there was like
three.
three. Ronnie Brown.
Yeah.
Ronnie Brown went to Miami.
Yeah, it's not draft
Cedric
running backs.
and Cadillac Williams. But
Yeah.
that was crazy about how they.
I got a
That
seventh
Auburn
round
team
pick.
was cold.
But anyway, right? Like, so you drafted him.
You gotta play.
They all look. You got to play him,
You
right?
gotta
But
play
they're
him.
all looking, and they're going. You drafted a running back 4th overall. We got T. Jones.
You just signed Thomas
T. Jones just got signed. He's an amazing back. He's our guy. And what that did to the locker room was it pit one against the other, because Thomas Jones knew, I'm not going to be here.
I think didn't Erlach and them kind of was like,
Everybody was like, this is not Thomas. Whenever they asked, it was like Thomas Jones is starting running back. He's our guy. And it's not that they didn't like Cedric Benson. It's not that they didn't help Cedric Benson, but you brought someone in that disrupted what was already being built there, and they felt like they had that. Where in the front office's mind, all they were doing was what was better for the team.
But see,
and that is something you have to take into account. So it's good for me to hear that, like, if somebody new comes in, it wouldn't be like, the front office on games, we up out here.
Yeah, but I think but it goes back to the, like, for the first time in a very, very long time, we are establishing an offensive identity with a scheme. What was the Bears scheme that they tried to run offensively back then?
Power run.
To a degree, but it was like, we got Mitchie Cricky, Rex Grossman as our quarterback.
Who? What was the name there? Mitchie Cricky?
Little Mitchie Cricky, little guy.
Oh, I thought you was trying to say Mitch Trubisky. I was like,
No,
know
Mitchie
what that
Cricky, little
was.
Mitchie Cricky. Yeah, anyway.
I thought he said a racial slur. I got nervous.
No,
I thought it was over. I was like,
Whoa.
what did he say?
Cancel culture.
No,
You got to stop. Please.
no.
Hey, I was like, we had a good run, boys.
I just,
It's been fun. We had a studio and everything. It was a great run.
And
Anyway,
then that one episode 300. Here goes.
No, I just think that for what. Everybody's saying power. They were supposed to run, right?
It was power eye, yeah.
But
That's what I said, power run. Yeah, power eye, yeah.
so okay. I guess to the point is like establishing what you wanted to run. Now you created this division. That means that everybody was on the same page of what they're supposed to be doing, because it would make sense to have maybe two running backs, and in terms of the scheme.
Not
or
back then, though, really.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, think about back then, it was
identif-
AP. It was right. You had the one back that was that.
It
guy.
was just identifying what
Yeah.
you plan to run, and this was going to be your bell cow, whatever. But
Yeah.
you just signed this guy now,
Yeah.
unless Because if I'm correct, Thomas
Well, no,
Jones
T. Jones was up.
he ran 1,200.
T. Jones was up for a contract. That's why it was like, oh, you gonna get our guy out of here
because he ran. Oh, is that what it was?
He was up for a contract. Because remember, we went to the Super Bowl. Sadie B's on that team. We went to the Super Bowl.
I know he did. He
said,
we went to the Super Bowl.
well, they traded him after that, so it wasn't. He was still in the contract.
you know who else
But
was
he
on
had
that
one
team?
more year.
You know who else was on that team? That Super Bowl team?
Which one?
Somebody that got inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Devin Hester.
Woo! That's a
Devin
good
Hester.
transition.
Well, we were in the middle of a conversation.
Well, I mean, I was like,
hey,
like
y'all about to go down this rabbit hole.
Like,
hey,
you
listen,
had
you
that.
get Joe on a rabbit hole.
I wasn't on a
past.
I wasn't on a rabbit hole. I was just saying that.
Once we go past 2010, with 1990 to 2010, Joe goes deep, man. That's a wrap.
Hey,
dog.
that's his bag. That's his bag.
Uh-huh.
Hey, the greatest moment was when I was like, was when I told him George Hallis' son ran your dig. He was like, George Hallis ain't got no
Oh
son.
God, he just
I was like, yes, he do.
He
Stop
could.
playing with me.
I know my beard. I know. He looked at it. He was like,
No, hey, here's the thing. Joel said it so confidently. I was like,
maybe.
did George Hallis? I swear he did. I literally like, did George Hallis have a son? I don't know.
I meant it in the form of that he didn't give it to us.
You say anything 2006 around Joe, just be in for a conversation.
Yeah.
No, my point was that for a very long time, just really establishing offensive identity. And I think that now, okay, even past the 06, 07 Bears, if we get to 2010,
yeah,
when we got Jay Cutler, there you go. From Jay Cutler, oh, that's 09. From Jay Cutler on, what was our offensive identity? You know what I'm saying? They were trying too many things. That was the loving
I don't
period.
know what.
Wait. And then what happened?
And then what?
And then what happened?
Well, it's story time.
What?
Nah, I don't know.
Oh, wait.
What
Look,
system did Tressman run?
that's the.
I don't think was he West
ran-
Coast?
Hey,
He ran
did that on
something
purpose. Here we go.
He was.
No, not really, because he said after that, what was our offensive identity? And I'm like, I don't.
We never
remember.
had a true. We didn't stick to something of like what they wanted to run, and that we had it for a period of time. It was
Yeah.
always like March brought in the greatest show on turf. You had, like I said, the John Shoop years. You had, like you said, Tressman came here. He was fired, but his offense was cooking. It's just our defense was trash.
1 year.
No, it was.
We had a trash.
The offense was good. The defense was bad. We had the Mel Tucker year. They were transitioning from Urlacher and all those guys.
We had a trash defense, my boy. I'm probably
Canadian
from,
spread.
Probably from Canadian spread is crazy.
Seattle.
It's that Canadian bacon.
Hey,
tippy toe offense.
actually, you know what? Let's
Probably from 13 to
Whatever, J. Crit.
to what?
16?
6? No, probably from 13 to 18.
Because
We
17 we had a
trash
good defense.
Because we had after that we had Mel Tucker.
But 17 was a good defense.
No, 18 was a good defense.
18 was better, but 17 wasn't bad.
17 was bad. 17 was bad. It was a bad football team.
17 was bad.
17 was very bad. But no, man. We got to give our congratulations real quick as we get into this final topic. Appreciate y'all tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Got to congratulate the 3 Hall of Famers that made it. Steve Mongo, McMichael's well overdue.